good evening everybody and welcome back to F1 on FTRL. It is our final pre-season event before season 17 kicks off next week. And we are back here at Mexico for the Div 2 race on board with T. Smith, and we go on a lap of the circuit here at Mexico. Down this long start-finish straight, DRS wide open, great overtaking opportunity into the first couple of corners here. This tricky chicane, watching out not to invalidate by taking too much curb. T. Smith giving the Apex a wide berth there. Into the second of the DRS zones then, the short straight down towards turn 4. Again, another good overtaking opportunity. Saw a lot of side-by-side action here last night in the Div 1 race. As he flicks into the left and the right, tightens on exit, uses a little bit of the curb. And up to the double right-hander in front of the grandstands, 6 and 7. Another short straight down before this twisty S section. High speed, got to ride the curbs, keep the speed up, but don't go too wide. Smith looking nice and tidy through here so far. This is the tricky one on the exit. Nice through there into the third DRS zone. As they head now into the right hander that brings them into the old baseball stadium. Very tricky, slow second gear left-hander. Apexes it nicely, using all the curbs. And one corner to go. A fire right-hander before foot to the floor. Oh, a little bit too eager on the gas there, T. Smith. Sprints to the line, and the first flying lap is a 16.0. And then Aaron Taylor goes fastest down on 14.6. Pagani behind him on a 15.0. So the Aston Martins go 1 and 2. As Maxi Syme get on. Down to the final quarter. He goes fastest of all on a 13.9. So Maxi Syme with a very tidy lap. Ferrari-man taking provisional pole position. Who have we got coming around then? Chubb's just starting a lap. We've got Mattman coming through the final couple of corners. Catamy's just behind him, and Fever just behind him as well. So here comes Matt out the final quarter. 15 flat for him on the first run. Catamy, we've got those next Cats behind him starting a flying lap. Fever has bailed off into the pits. Where is Catamese? He is still early into his lap, so we'll go find Chubbs, who is no lining tonight, so he's switched all of his assists off, pending the marker boards not being destroyed. So he says, so the guy, he's asked very nicely if the guys could not destroy the marker boards for him, else he will not know where to brake and he may harpoon you. So he gets on then into the final sector. Captain all pointing in the right direction. Out of the final corner. The floor, across the line, and a 15.8 for his first flying run. Peel Catamese, who has invalidated, so he is not going to be setting a lap time this time, whereas his teammate, he too is invalidated, and so both has drivers invalidating on their first flying run. In the chat, good evening Unsafe, good evening Scuba, good evening Iggy, good evening Joe, and good evening Zom. Thank you very much for tuning in. So a little light on numbers tonight, but hopefully the action will more than make up for that. Texas Cats are getting a little bit squirrely coming out the final corner. On the in lap. He goes up into the pits, and so we'll go pick up Unsafe Relief, who's back in F1 on FTRL. That's how he came to us. It was back on F1 2019. He was very quick before he made the move over to GT Sport. He's come back to where it all began for him. And let's see where he's at pace-wise now then. So coming down into the first sector, 28.2 for his first sector. And that's a purple sector, so Unsafe Release looking tidy so far. Now the double right-hander at 6 and 7. Even Max, yo, and Fever in the chat as well as currently sitting in pit lane, picking his moment to go out on track again. So then coming up to the end of Sector 2, it's a 56.5. Not a purple sector though for that one. So Maxi Syme, lap time possibly going to stand up to this. Let's see where he comes out of the final corner. Looks like he's lost a fair bit of time in the middle part of the lap there. Crosses the line and into P5 on a 15.7 for Unsafe. So his first lap in earnest since coming back to competitive league racing with us here. He's put himself on the third row provisionally. Onto the track comes T. Smith again. And Oscar's just left the pit lane as well. Just behind him is one of the Aston Martins. It's the one of Aaron Pagani's on his way as well, but we'll go pick up with Mr. T. Smith, who is on a flying lap. Banked a 16-0 on his first run, because he's made the move over to wheel racing this time around, so see how he gets on. DRS opens then onto the second straight, and he is half a second up on his first run. Purple first sector. So good start, Ian Batman. Are drivers required to run with no assist? Absolutely not, Sergey. You can drive with whatever assists you do or do not want. So we have drivers here who use all of them. Some drivers use none. Some use a bit of them. Some use ABS only. Some use traction only. Some have got automatic gears. Some use manual gears. So whatever you like. We do not specify what you can and cannot use. It is completely up to you. Of course, the less assist you use, generally the quicker you can go, but of course you do have the risk of binning it quite successfully. So here we go then, T. Smith out the final corner. It was a 16 flat the first time. He improves to a 14.8 on that second run and puts him up to P3. And he splits the Aston Martins. Very tidy and significant improvement there from T. Smith on his second flying run. Of course, he exited qualifying quite early last week at Silverstone. But had a solid run in the race. Now Pagani is just starting a flying lap, so let's stay on board then with the beautiful looking Aston Martin. Resplendent in British racing green. Through the first couple of corners he goes into the second DRS. Then flap drops open, going down to the first sector checkpoint, and he is 0.190 up. Meanwhile, his teammate has taken over on provisional pole again. Aaron jumps ahead of Maxi Syme just with 13.929, usurping Maxi Syme's 13.965. So those two just 0.04 of a second apart. Pagani and Matman 0.03 of a second apart in 4th and 5th. Academy's Oscar, Katz and Fever yet to set a representative lap time. Pagani half a second up then in the middle sector. This is potentially going to leapfrog him up to P3 as Casamese has now jumped onto the second row, 14.7. The big gap between the top two and third. Pagani, if he can keep his momentum up, should slot into that gap quite comfortably. He does indeed on a 14.5 then, but still 0.6 off the top two. Maxi Syme and Aaron looking like the two to beat. Of course, last week it was Brutus and Aaron who had a titanic battle at Silverstone for most of the race. We were just cruelly denied a grandstand finish when Aaron's internet shut itself on the final lap, just after Brutus had retaken the lead, although Aaron did have a penalty more than Brutus, so it would have proved moot in the final standings, but we were enjoying the on-track battle. Katz has invalidated again, so that's 2 runs, 2 invalidations for Katz so far. Now will he go around and do another run on this set of tyres, or does he have enough fuel to do so is the next question. The answer is no, he does not. Into the pits he comes, so 2 laps, 2 invalidations, takes it out on the orange cone on the way in. So Felice then just starting his second run, down to P8 now. The guys who were behind him have improved. What time can he find then as the track starts to rubber in? Grip will increase. Got a little bit of a feel now. He's had a lap under his belt. He is pretty much matched his first sector split time. He is at Alpine this season. He will be teaming up with Zombie, who unfortunately isn't with us this week. He is working. He will be back next week as we kick off at the Circuit of the Americas. And oh, too much curb there. That's an invalidation for unsafe release. So then just over 6 minutes to go. 8 of the 11 drivers with us tonight have set lap times. 3 yet to do so. Oscar, Katz and Fever still to set a representative lap time. Maybe very tightly bunched there. So the top 2 separated by just 400. Then you've got Pagani at a 14.5. Catamese on a 14.70. Smith on a 14.8. Macman on a 15 flat. Those guys covered by just half a second. Chubbs and Unsafe just a 10th between those two as well. Macman is on a lap then as he comes to the end of it, although it doesn't look like a particularly quick one. 4.5 seconds down on that, so not the quickest lap for Max. So he didn't say that was an outlap, but does appear to be going for it again, so we shall see. However, maybe we should pick up Mr. Maxi Syme, who is just on purple in the middle sector. So Maxi Syme, who has been demoted off provisional pole by Aaron on his second flying run. Can he jump back to the head of the leaderboard? Answer is he can. 13.8 from Maxi Syme. He lays the gauntlet back down to Aaron. Just the two of them in the 13s at the moment. Ferrari on to provisional pole ahead of the 2 Aston Martins. Aaron on his way out for another run. We've got a spinner. Might just be a slow moving Alfa Romeo. Smith has invalidated his lap, so that may have been him. And out of the final corner, he has gone for a second flying lap. He was looking to improve. He does improve up to P4, so finds 4/10 of a second into the 14.6s. Slots in that gap between Pagani and Casimir, so onto the second row of the grid for the time being. Nice and tidied up that from Matman. The one who's come on leaps and bounds since he joined us in FTRL. He was, I remember after his first race, he said, "You guys are all pretty quick," after a baptism of fire, and now he finds himself battling for podiums and top 5s week in, week out. So a superb improvement in his time. He's really put the time and effort in, and he is now reaping the rewards. Let's go pick up then front row man. Aaron has been demoted from provisional pole by Maxi Syme. These two now exchanging pole position. We've got 3.5 minutes to go. I didn't see Aaron's first sector time, however it didn't flash up purple. Yeah, flag in sector 2, that's just Matman I think cruising back to the pits. Navigates the SS section okay. Into the DRS zone. Coming up to sector 2 then, there's Matman in the foreground. Aaron he's 4.5 seconds down, so this might just be a warm-up lap. Just saw Matman do 2 runs on his tyres, so tyres seem to be standing up to a couple of runs here. Just bank up to get some heat into that tyre. And then is on his way for a flyer then, so 1970, that's not a representative lap time. Let's go pick up some of the other guys further down then. Next is Katz says, oh, he's invalidated another lap, so Katz has 3 runs and 3 invalidations so far. Struggling with track limits here at Mexico, which are a problem. We saw last night only 2 drivers out of those that finished didn't pick up a penalty last night. Track limits here, particularly tricky. You really want to be riding the curbs hard to get the speed, but you do run the risk of invalidating, as Katz has found out thrice to his demise so far. Oscar 2 has invalidated his run. Fever has just started. Katami's also just on his way. But let's go pick up Aaron then. He's in the middle sector. He is 0.195 up. This will be enough to reclaim pole position if he can hang on to that gap through the final sector. Into the left-hander he goes. Through the right, out of the baseball stadium. 1 corner to go. Foot to the floor. Stay tight. For the line. Oh, and he lost time in the final sector, so he improves, but not quite enough for 13.838. Maxi Syme's 8.13. Just narrowly holds on to provisional pole, and Aaron has called it quits. So that was Aaron's final run. He is settling for potentially front row start. Everybody now looking at their final runs. Fever has set a 16.7, so he's now got a lap time on the board. Next is Katz's car looking twitchy through the S's. Oh, big slide from Katz. Big slide. Catches it though. Brilliant car control. Perhaps not the quickest way, but he should be able to get a lap time on the board. Comes into the left-hander. Oh, again, that car looking very slidey. Through there, he is scrabbling for grip. Out of the final corner. It is still a 14.7 there, so that's a very handy lap from Katz, considering he spent a large part of that final sector sideways, which is not the quickest way to drive an F1 car. But next is Katz there, who really came on leaps and bounds last season. Again, another one regularly challenging at the front. He is set to 14.7, so he's on to the third row for the moment. Who have we got where? Matman is on outlap. Behind him we've got Oscar, who has again invalidated his lap time. So Oscar, I don't think he's going to get a lap time in here. No, he's not. So into the pits he comes. And so Felice has invalidated his lap as well. He's going to go around, get some track time on the board. So he's starting provisionally P9. Pagani has not improved. He stays on a 14.5. Katamis, however, with a late surge, has gone up to P3. Into the 13s he goes, a 13.9. So not quite enough to get onto the front row, but close right in on the top two then, so maybe we'll have three cars battling. And then T. Smith is taking a shortcut, so he is not on a flying lap anymore. Chubbs has invalidated. Katz has invalidated, so we'll go back on board with Batman then, who now invalidates as well. So no improvements coming up then, and that will be the grid for tonight then. So actually Syme takes pole position, lays down a marker for the season ahead. Aaron joining him on the front row. Katamis and Pagani, both long time FTRL stalwarts, share the second row. Matman and Katz on the third. T. Smith and Chubbs on row 4. Unsafe and Fever, the German friends, share row 5, and Oscar will get the free tyre choice. Will he go different to the pack? We shall see. Unsafe in the chat there with feckin' track limits. Yep, Mexico is an absolute ball ache for them. Pagani and Aaron on one team is a tiny bit OP. Yes, it definitely has the potential to be, but do not underestimate some of the other teams in here. Oscar and Maxi Syme are a very handy partnership. Now Oscar's got brilliant one-lap pace. His qualifying last season was exceptional a lot of times. Did let himself down with his racecraft a little bit, but did have a very strong result in Japan. And Maxi Syme, as you can see, on pole tonight. He too has come on leaps and bounds since he joined last season. And he will line up on pole. Aaron second, Cat third, Pagani, Matman, Katz, T. Smith, Chubbs, Unsafe and Fever rounding out the top 10, and Oscar unable to get a lap on the board. He starts P11. Evening, Mikey. The chat as well. Oscar with the planned P11. Well, he's gone for the free tyre choice, so I'm expecting to see him starting on the mediums, or maybe he'll go just for a new set of soft tyres. Go a little bit longer. It worked for Yarman last night. We saw Yarman, of course, who qualified 11th. Started on the soft tyres like the top 10. And of course, being on fresh rubber, he had an extra couple of laps in, and that's propelled him to a... Did he get the podium last night? I think he may have got the podium last night. So he was definitely in the battle for the lead. Will that work out? So in the chat, Captain Chubbs has just told me he's putting the line back on. So he had gone no line, he's putting it back on, but needs a bit more practice. So everybody's free to take out the brake markers now, if they so choose. Let me get ready then for the race. 36 laps. This was a 2-stop race last night. So expect to see various strategies at play here. And Maxi Syme leads us off the grid then. So 36 laps ahead of us. Expecting a two-stopper. It might be soft, medium, soft. It might be soft, medium, medium. So a couple of strategies playing out last night. A couple of safety cars definitely through. Different strategies into the mix. The one that prevailed though was a soft, medium, soft. It was CR7 who led us home last night quite comfortably in the end. The JHT running really strongly, having gone onto the hards early on, tried to hold on. So then the grid for tonight. Maxi Syme on pole position in the Ferrari, joined on the front row by Aaron in the Aston Martin. We've got a Haas on the second row in the form of Katamise. He's alongside Pagani. Of course, Katamise, a demon starter on F1, so might he split front two on the run down towards turn one. Of course, the long straight means he will get an excellent draft and he can get a good launch. He might be leading us into turn one. Matman up in P5 in the Mercedes, alongside the second of the Haas's Cats in P6. T. Smith goes off P7 in the Alfa Romeo, alongside Chubbs in the McLaren. Line back on. He's got his braking markers now. Might he find a little bit more speed? Unsafe release is P9 in the Alpine. And just run into the back of Chubbs. They're now on the grid. Phoebus P10 in the second Alfa Romeo, and the Ferraris sandwiching the grid. Oscar starting on the medium tyres. At the back, P11. I say at the back, he's P11. So here we go then. We've got 5 red lights. Maybe somewhere. They can see them. Away we go. And it's a good start from Cats. Pagani seems to have got a sluggish getaway. Aaron's had a good launch, but here comes Katamise. Into the slipstream. Maxi Syme side by side with Aaron. Katamise into Aaron's slipstream on the run. That's one, the 3 wide, 4 wide. Cats down the inside of, is it Pagani into turn 1. Pagani coming in hot. Just about gets it stopped though. Katamise looking at the back of Maxi Syme, but Aaron gets the whole shot. Oh, Pagani's off. Oh, there was Matman. And Batman has gone on the exit of turn 3, and a virtual safety car is deployed immediately. Go there, in with the jinx. Good luck, lads. And Matman lasts 3 corners and his race is done. That's so unlucky for Matman as well after great qualifying. Just got a little bit happy on cold tyres on the curb by the look of it, and the car just spat him off to the inside. Of course, we saw Tico spin off there at a restart last night out of the lead, so it's easily done. Drivers now coming into the stadium section, still under VSC. If you can get the spare Mercedes, Matt, you are more than welcome to. Still under VSC then, to come around the final corner. When do we get to go racing again? So I'm trying to stay close to Aaron. Suggests the VSC might be ending. Moving around, trying to get some heat into the tyres. So into the first couple of corners again. On the VSC. Oh, and Aaron's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. So the race leader gets a penalty. Oh, the bloody thing again. Right, 1 second. I don't know if it actually works, that it's in the chat, but just go into a party. So they're not interfering with the driver's race. So Aaron then picking up a drive-through penalty. That's definitely going to hinder his race. And he has jumped away then. So current running order is Aaron leads from Maxi Syme. Katamise in 3rd, Pagani 4th, Cats up to 5th, T. Smith 6th, up safe up to 7th ahead of Chubbs. Oscar up 2 into 9th, and Fever where he started in P10. Come through the stadium section. And into the pits comes Aaron to serve his drive through then, so he's going to get it overdone with quickly. On to lap 3. Now normally this would be where the DRS was activated, however that virtual safety car will put that back by 2 laps I believe. Katamis will have to try and engineer a pass on his own. He goes in on the back of the Ferrari into turn 1. But not close enough for a move at this time. Aaron trickling out the pits and on his way. Good battle going on here. Unsafe and Chubb side by side. Going down towards 4. Chubb's on the outside. Inside's got the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel. They are in D, but Chubbs has the inside for the second part. And he gets the move done. Ahead of Unsafe here. Now comes Oscar up the inside. Forces Unsafe out wide. Gets the move done. And Oscar on those medium tyres. Making progress. On the ultimate strategy then, so he can potentially stick the soft tyres on. Later on, oh, Chubb's wide, as you like there, coming out of the S's. Let's go back then to this battle for the lead. You've got 3 cars in what will be a DRS train once it's activated. Nexus catch just a little bit off the back. He's got T. Smith right up behind him. Deciding them with the fastest lap of the race, 17.4. So Unsafe picks up the first time penalty of the race. That is DRS active, not this time. Still no DRS. Just checking on Katz, who again closes in further back. T. Smith gone down the inside of Katz into 1. Up to P4 he goes. Alright, just checking. Oh no, DRS is active. So Kat now has DRS on the race leader. This should bring this battle. Pagani's got it as well on the back of Katamis. T. Smith having a good run so far. Oscar now fending off Unsafe Release and Fever. And Aaron then has 8 seconds to make up to that trio ahead of him. But he's got clear track. Next is Katz now with a penalty as well. So the penalty's now starting to come in. We're only on lap 4. Track limits here are so tight. Oxox in the chat there, waiting for the Katamis bottle. Any time now. Right, on to start finish straight. Maxi Simons managed to get himself out of DRS range, I think, here. Which might leave Katamis vulnerable to Pagani. Into the pits has come Oscar. Oh, what's happened to Oscar? Has he picked up some damage? Of course, on this year's game, you really feel wing damage yet. Fresh wing going on. So Oscar's benefit of running on the medium tyres at the start has been eradicated. Well, that contact. Katamis now holding off Pagani, who's closing. Oh, around the outside. Trying to go around the outside, giving the inside for the next part. Not quite. Contact in the back corner. Pagani needs to watch his wing. He's up the inside again. Katamis chops his nose. Robust defence from Katamis as always. Further back, Katz has got back ahead of T. Smith in the battle for 4th. Chubb's now trying to close in on these guys. Having got clear of the battle, Unsafe has been released. So him and Fever are now trying to close back up. Aaron just 6.3 seconds off the back, and Oscar, after that pit stop, is now hoping for a safety car to bring himself back into contention then. Maxi Simon now pulls the pin. Katamis and Pagani battling and holding each other up. No DRS for Katamis, however Pagani has got it and he's closing. Long start for straight. Katamis down the middle of the road, Pagani to the outside. I'll give him the inside for turn 2. Katamis though swoops around the outside. Pagani then gets the inside for 3. He'll have the DRS again and he's closer this time. Side by side DRS, this should be easy overtake, and Pagani gets the move done this time. Up to P2 he goes. Katz has held off T. Smith. He's now starting to close in on this battle. Pagani and Katamis battling hard. Katz is now just starting to bridge that gap, bringing T. Smith with him. Chubbs is closing in as well. Oh, and Aaron has pitted again. So Aaron's pitted for medium tyres. Trying Trying something he's maybe hoping now for a safety car as well. Maxi Sai will not be hoping for a safety car. He leads by 2.4. But Pagani, who has now got Academy's behind him. Right on that DRS line. Where is it? Gosh, I think he was in. Oh, Pagani's in. So Pagani in early. So maybe that was a scheduled pit stop for Aaron. Chooses to get out of it early. That releases Academy's back to P2. Katz and T. Smith going battling for P3 now. T. Smith with the DRS round the outside. That is an easy overtake to P3. Chubbs closing in the background, 1.5 behind. And with the DRS again, stretches his legs. Now not under threat from Katz into turn 4. Chubbs now 1.2 behind. So Chubbs in that McLaren starting to look menacing. Off into this battle over P3. However, race leader now 3 seconds to the good, or 2.9. Katamese just chips away a little bit. Maxi Simon opens that gap back up again through the S's. Chubbs is now right onto the back of Katz, who is still hanging on to T. Smith resolutely. Now, does anybody else pull the pin in terms of the pits? The answer is T. Smith snaking out the final corner. In he comes. So Alfa Romeo is in. That releases Katz and Chubbs, who is now with him. Chubbs will have DRS. Now Katz should also have it because he was behind T. Smith as they crossed the line. Does indeed, so Chubbs not able to make a move. For the moment, at least, anyway. And then Pagani goes past T. Smith, who exits the pits. And drops in between Pagani and Oscar. Oscar and Aaron still playing catch up. The lead is now 4 seconds, so Maxi Syme is absolutely flying. Really enjoying himself so far. As he comes into the S's section. Sweeps through, looking very assured so far. Right, and maybe joined in commentary. Una momento, per favor. We might be getting some Geordie tones to come with us. Where is he? There he is. Into the pits then comes the race leader. He's in for medium tyres. And away he goes. Now where does he filter back out? Where is Pagani? He's out the final corner. Where is the Ferrari? He's just exiting pit lane. Pagani will be up to speed and closing quickly. Maxi seems to have held on to the lead, but that gap is down. She's now trying to get up to speed. I hear the faint ripple of a Geordie. There he is, he's here. So talk us through your race, Matt. How was it for you? Well, it happened last night. Tico threw away a race lead, so you're not alone in dropping it on that corner. Oh, Chubbs is gone. Oh, we've lost Chubbs. Oh, and Katz as well. Chubbs and Katz have both gone. And there's the safety car that Aaron and Oscar were crying out for. And they've both crashed on the exit. The S is Chubbs first, Katz second. Both in the wall on the left-hand side. And yes, that is... well, that might work out quite nicely for Katames, who's into the pits. Now, where is Max? No, Maxi Syme's coming out of the final corner. Where is Katames? Is he on his way? He is. I think Maxi Syme is just going to stay in the lead. He is just. Katames though up to P2. Oh, swipes out across the nose of Pagani on the safety car though, so that is position Yep, so there we go. Then Katamis gets back out in P2. He's gone onto the hard tyres now. Don't know if you watched last night's race. You saw John Evan Terry tried this strategy last night, going onto the hards. Tried to get to the end. When everybody made their second pit stops, he led the race until CR7 promptly closed him down quite quickly. But yeah, it's a bold strategy call. Katamis onto the hards. The only one who's gone different to the rest. Everybody has switched to the mediums so far, apart from Unsafe and Feber, who've gone back onto the softs. So they're going for an aggressive middle stint. Potentially so, yeah. Everybody on fresh medium tyres, they will have a grip advantage. Katami, though, makes his cars quite wide. So all is not lost then. There we go. Oh, indeed. Katami's on the hard, everybody else on the mediums. It's probably a question of whether or not they have fresh mediums. Obviously, Oscar started on the medium tyre, so I don't know if he'll actually have a fresh shop. However, who's peeling off into the pits? No, it's just T. Smith faking a pit. Oscar and Aaron now, they come round again, so I think Aaron will be confident in his pace that he can now pick everybody off even with 4 laps on his tyres. And 4 laps isn't bad on a set of mediums. That should obviously, being under the safety car, you can see him just doing the Kimi Raikkonen way of keeping your tyres warm by just driving in a straight line. So, it's a track that you wouldn't imagine is particularly hard wearing on tyres, but obviously the 2-stopper is the quickest way around here. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, but then you think of circuits like Silverstone tends to be a 1-stopper, doesn't it? And you think Silverstone with a lot more sort of high energy corners would be a 2-stopper, but tends to be a bang on 1-stop. So very bizarre. But it does have a bit of everything. Got a few stop-start corners here. This long, slow double right-hander here as well. That'll hurt the left-hand sided tyres. Oh, who's that been off? That's T. Smith has spun under the safety car. Out of P4, he's down to P8. I think we saw that last night with Dan. Dan Morris span out under the safety car last night as well. And he's now all the way down in P8. I think he can't get back to his place, can he? No, he is now P8. So T. Smith has thrown away P8. Safety car in this lap. So Maxi Syme will take over. That's the pace setter. And he let the Mercedes pull away. Is he going to try and stick right on the back of it? Soft shod Alpine. Yep, he should be very racy at the start here. Of course, the one to watch is probably the man in P2. The always exciting Katamis. Of course, no DRS. When does Maxi Syme go? He goes now. Katamis is already alongside him. So Katamis has got that perfect. He takes the lead. The side-by-side bumping wheels down the straight. Pagani into a double slipstream. Is he going to make it 3 wide? He does. Pagani on the right, Cat in the middle, Maxi on the inside. Pagani swoops around the outside of Cat. Up to P2, he's up the inside of Maxi, so he leads. Here comes Cat, back at him. Oh, they're banging wheels. Katami's back into the lead. And Katami's leads. Here comes Unsafe. Maxi Syme goes from first to third. He's held off Unsafe around the outside. Unsafe on those soft tyres though. He's got so much more grip. Maxi Syme placing his car well, but Unsafe's got the inside for the S's. He'll have the move done. He does. They're still side by side. Maxi Syme's off the track. Here comes Fever. Oh, Aaron's gone. I think Aaron's crashed out as well. Another safety car. So Aaron's crashed in the middle of the S's section there. Didn't see what happened to him, but Aaron's demise, oh, so unlucky. Got the safety car he needed, and it's just not worked out for him. An accident in the S's section, claiming 3 victims so far. 3 of the 4 guys have gone in the S's section. It's particularly tricky changing your direction, left, right, left, right. So they're going... What are they going to go on to then? T. Smith in. Does he have damage perhaps? Survey says. Nope. T. Smith just tyres. Oscar. T. Smith onto the hards, interestingly. So alternate strategies from those two. Oh, dramatic restart there. Max's time. I think he got that restart very wrong. He was 4 seconds ahead before the pit stops. Pagani obviously doing the undercuts meant that he closed to within 2. Then obviously the safety car came out and Katz just slotted in between them. But I think he just got that restart just wrong. I think he stayed right on the back of the safety car, didn't give himself room to try and sprint away, and then that little weave just before he started, Katami just kind of timed his run perfectly, got alongside, got ahead. Pagani then into the slipstream, double toe down the straight, round the outside, into the lead. Katami's then back around the outside, but Pagani held him off. It is indeed. Indeed, I think it's probably beneficial to not qualify in the front row here, just because at the start of the race, obviously that long drag race down, everybody has a slipstream. Oh, in the background, who was that getting sideways? One of the Alfa Romeos. Evening, Zomar. What have I missed? Well, you missed Batman dropping it on the first lap. You missed Nexus Cats and Chubbs crashing in sync in the S section, and then on the restart, you missed Aaron dropping it in the S section as well. Pagani just double slipstreamed at the restart around the outside into the lead of the race. So that's where we currently stand. So short on numbers, high on action so far. And we're only at lap 14. So yes, that was. I mean, you did a fantastic Nikita Matty spin. Part of the plan. Well, we'll get you a spinning top for your birthday this year, shall we? Next year. If we can spin that. So, oh, in the background, who's that gone off? LT Smith spun again under the safety car. He is indeed, but you'd think that at a slow speed corner like that, under the safety car, I mean, once is shame on him, twice is just double shame on him, frankly. That's twice now, and I've seen them both. So, I saw that, T. Smith. I saw that. Maybe he should join. Maybe he's Mazzy Spin. I think he's got to fight you for it. So, safety car in this lap then. Here we're going to go racing again now. You can see Pagani there letting the safety car get away. So, different strategy here. I don't know whether Max Sam just didn't see the notification the safety car was going in, perhaps. And that's why he stayed right on the back of it. But we'll play for again. Unsafe is perhaps the one to watch. Soft tyres. Katami's, look at him, stalking Pagani. Pagani's gone. Goes early. Katz has gone with it. Oh, Pagani. He just picked up a penalty there. He got the curb on the inside to the further corner. Katami's right into the slipstream though. Here we go. On the button, ERS being deployed. Maxi Simon's in the pits. Interestingly. Catlow side by side with Pagani. Pagani's wide on the exit of 2 and 3. Comes Academy's back at him. The side by side again. Unsafe spying back into this. Pagani has the inside here. Runs deep into the corner to protect the inside for turn 5. Catlow go around the outside. Here comes Unsafe. They got one medium, one hard, and one soft shod car in this battle for the lead. Fever in the background, just keeping watching brief. T. Smith has managed to get around a lap without spinning. Well done. What's happened to Oscar as well? Oscar's dropped off the back here. Like it. Quite how has worked out. I do not know what Feber coming in very hot there to the left-hander. Round to the back of his fellow countryman. Bringing his teammate with him, but Pagani now getting settled down. Look at him covering to the inside there to not give the substitute unsafe into the toe of Catamies. He's closing to the inside. Unsafe blast pass into P2. Can't come back at him. Not yet. Oh, Catamies picks up a penalty there. Takes the curve on turn 1. It's unsafe now. Marching up the order. The Pagani meanwhile has got the hammer down and running away. He's now 1.4 seconds ahead, so he's out of DRS range. Zom is asking, is 21 what is F1 2021 like? Is it worth getting? He hasn't had a game since 2019. Do it. It is definitely trickier handling cars. You definitely feel the loss of downforce, and that makes the cars a little bit more lively, which is why you've seen people who wouldn't normally spin as much as they have done spin. The damage model has been, I say, improved. It's more detailed now, so even light damage will affect the car, but you can still drive. I think you found that last week that you got a little bit of wing damage, and you could carry on, but you lose a little bit, or a lot, but not as much as if you lost your complete end plate. So then. I don't know if your voice is being shared, Matt. Tom has just said in the chat he can't hear you. So yes, there is somebody here. I'm not just talking to myself, Tom. Guy leads in at 1.9 seconds, unsafe release, trying to give chase. Cats and Feber. He's now hanging on to the back of Catamies here. Doing a good job, Feber. Of course, he's been in FTRL for a little while, but purely in our GT division and ACC. So he's now finally made the step to our third league, F1. This is his first time I've seen him on F1, so performing amicably so far. Catamies now honing back in on unsafe. 6 laps on those soft tyres. They should still be good for probably about 4 or 5 more laps, but the edge has maybe gone off the tyres, and here comes Catamies back at him now. DRS is active, and this one should be a fairly routine pass into one. He's going to the outside though. Unsafe covers the line. In the background, Oscar going past T Smith as Catamies takes P2. Oscar just set a couple of fastest laps then, so having got fresh tyres on, he's starting to fly. And now Unsafe is under pressure from his fellow countrymen. There's Feber on the back of him. They're both on the back of Catamies. Pagani holding that lead at about 2 seconds so far. The Aston Martin man then fended off the attacks at the restart. While the guys behind him have been squabbling, he is now starting to pull away. Man on the move at the minute is Oscar. He's already into DRS range on the 3 cars in the battle for P2. Unsafe with another penalty. We are now coming around to complete half race distance. And we've now got 4 cars battling for P2. P. Smith trying to get back in there because on those hard tyres he's going to be going long. The view of probably going onto the soft tyres at the end. On his lead at 1.9 seconds, Catamies giving chase. Still giving DRS to Unsafe. He now starts to close in. Going to be close enough for a move into 1. Gets to within 2 tenths. He's going to the inside. Catamies is going to meet you on the apex though. He'll have the inside for turn 2. Fends him off for now. Feber's now brought back into this. Here comes Oscar as well. So Maxi Simon, who led the race early on, looks very, very assured. And now it's his teammate who's on the move up to 4th around the outside of Feber. It's a good move there from Oscar.
Right, I think it should be sorted.
Right, Zom, can you tell us if you can hear Matt now, please?
Hi. Hello.
Or if anybody else is in the chat still watching. Anybody just let us know. Can you hear this man's beautiful Geordie tones?
I have missed a lot of action. I feel disappointed.
So Pagani then getting that lead up to 2.5 seconds. Academy's unsafe. Oscar and Fever nose to tail into the stadium section. Oh, Academy's gone deep. Oh, Oscar got the inside of unsafe, who's gone around the outside of Cat. Oh, good move from unsafe. And Oscar up the inside over the curb because Cat shuts the door in his face. Look at the gap for the lead has gone from 2.5 seconds going into the stadium to 3.8 on the exit. That's how much time they've just lost tripping over each other. Unsafe now without DRS. Here comes Oscar, here comes Cat, the 3 wide. Fever's going to pick up the pieces. Who's going to be brave into one? Oscar and Cat go side by side. Still side by side.
Well done.
Hip and shoulder from Cat on Oscar. We'll both have DRS again. Fever now going to make a move on unsafe because he's still without DRS, but the Alpine covers across. Cat hangs on to P2. Oh, Oscar to the back of Cat.
Max is in the pits.
Oh, he's retired. That's so unlucky. Maxi Simon, who was looking blisteringly quick. Really like he was going to a feature for the win here. Not to be, unfortunately. A restart just got him dropped to the... Oh, Oscar up the inside. Oh, that was a brave move into the wall. He's taken his wing off. The Ferraris has all gone wrong.
Oh. We're on for some record here of the least amount of finishes.
He's gone straight on at the into the stadium section. Through goes Fever. Oscar there. I don't know why he was trying to get down the inside there into the S's. That was not really a place to make a move. I think he just had so much more grip. He thought he'd send it up the inside. Katamise came across to the racing line. Contact was made into the wall. And away we go. So down to just 5. Still running. Pagani leads comfortably. Everybody else in a battle for the final 2 spots on the podium.
If they could all stay close enough to Pagani and more penalties happen, T. Smith is in a position to go from last to first.
A last to first, but
what?
On penalties. That would be the first time I've ever seen that.
Winning's winning.
Winning is winning. I'm sure he'll take it if it comes his way. Pagani one's going to have to get the hammer down. He leads. He is away from all this carnage going on behind him. 4.9 seconds now the lead. Katami's giving chase. Fever tucked in behind him. Oh, Pagani gets a penalty, as does Fever. So they're racking them up still. All these 4 still in a DRS train with each other. Katami's at the head of it then. So we're losing drivers left, right and centre, unfortunately. Both Ferraris going out within a lap there. I can assure you, I'm hoping next week will be a little bit more less crash best.
Let's hope so.
So USA got its own quirks. I mean, that first sector of USA could catch a few people out, couldn't it?
They're a little trickier than these ones, than the S's here.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably a little bit more undulation that one as well, isn't there? So,
But come and think of it, the third sector's similarly difficult as well.
Unsafe then in onto the medium tyres. Fulfills his quota of running both compounds, or at least 2. And that has now spread out this group then, so Katamise has now got his head down again, starting to pull away from Fever. In turn has just pulled away again from T. Smith. As he rounds turns 6 and 7.
So, we're going to see Pagani pit again soon.
Yep. So the question is,
can Katamise go to the end?
Or can't you? Well, I don't know. I'm assuming so, but I don't want to say for sure. I imagine those hard tyres will get to the end, but we've got 15 laps to go, including this one. That'll put 26 laps on those hard tyres. Is it asking a lot? Maybe T. Smith might be able to get to the
screaming.
end. In comes Pagani, race leader is in.
Doable.
So here comes Aston Martin then. So now we're going to see Katamise carries on. Feber's in as well. He'll now go on to the mediums. Fever should come out around about where unsafe is. We're just coming through the stadium section now. Onto the medium tyre as he goes. And back onto pit lane. Pagani getting out the pit lane. Away he goes. Here comes unsafe. Fever leaving pit lane. There goes the Alpine. Those two will be circulating together to the end. Then Pagani back on to the medium tyres. His final stint now. He's got two drivers ahead of him, both of them on the hard tyre. T. Smith is having a twitch out of turn 5 again on those hard tyres. So Pagani's got 12 seconds to make up to T. Smith and 15 to make up to Katamise, and he's got 13 laps in which to do it.
I'll point this one out for you. Katamise won the last race around here as well.
He did. Yeah, he won the last race of last season.
And I'm not one to brag, but I did take P2 there as well. Just pointing that out there. Till Matty Spin steps up for the practice race and goes out on the first corner.
Well, it's better you get it out of your system this week than do it next week.
Absolutely.
So this is the battle on track at the minute then. The two Germans, Unsafe and Fever, Alpine and Alfa Romeo. Yeah, rack up more penalties through the stadium section. And out on to start finish straight. Fever with the DRS. She'll pop open now.
And an awful lot of DRS as well.
Yeah, so 3 DRS zones. I think it's the equal most on the calendar. There with... what else is it? Monza's got...
Canada's got 3, hasn't it? Yeah.
Start finish straight, back straight. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Canada's got 3 as well. I think everybody else has only got 2, hasn't it? I think it's the most. I think Monza's only got 2. No, in fact, Monza's only got 1, hasn't it? Start finish straight, isn't it? Oh no, you've got down to Ascari as well, isn't there? There's Ascari, yeah. The second one there. Cota's got the 2, start finish straight and the back straight. Baku's only got 2, hasn't it? Start finish straight and the turn 2 to turn 3.
Let's be fair, that doesn't even need 1. Blooming straight.
Straights go. I mean, straights go. I mean, it's probably up there with the longest the one here, isn't it? Really. Obviously, got a bit of a windy section coming onto the start finish straight, but
90-degree corners and straights for that place, and a castle in the middle.
Indeed, that dreaded castle. I think
Oh,
City Posh Blue does nightmares about that castle. The one time he was on to win a Div 1 race, and on the penultimate lap he crashed into the castle section.
Yeah.
Fever then on safe.
What you want to be doing.
Around the outside, DRS overtake is done. So he goes ahead of his friend, his countryman, his rival. He'll have DRS again then on the run on to turn 4. Up front, Katamise leads now by 4.5 seconds, so he's pulling away from T. Smith. Pagani is now just 8.2 seconds behind T. Smith. Oh, Katamise is off the track, a big wobble through the S's. Katamise is pushing hard, still struggling for grip a little bit though.
9 seconds worth of penalties though.
I'm telling you, Pagani's got at least 6, hasn't he? Yeah, say T. Smith, if he can hang on.
Pagani's on 9. Pagani, Katami's on 9. Bieber's 6, and Unsafe is 12. T. Smith, he's the tip.
He's going to do the Graham, isn't he? He's going to do a Graham and just vault up the order at the flag here, so he just needs to keep it pointing in the right direction. And technically he is, that means he's what, 16 seconds ahead of Pagani, net.
And he's going to the end.
He's got 5 seconds ahead of Katamise
now.
Katami's there. Still pushing. Oh, T. Smith sideways out of turn 3 again. He's finding the limit. Meanwhile, in the battle for P4, Unsafe down the inside. Repays the compliment to Fever into turn 1. And the battle for P4 continues. Keep an eye on the gaps ahead of us. It's going to be the smallest number of finishes we've ever had. I think so. I think that Baku race where you got that podiums on wasn't many more, was there? In fact, I'm just trying to think back to, I think there's an old Div 3 race, or F3 race as it was then, at Singapore, where, and obviously it wasn't streamed. And I can't think how many people finished that, but I think it was a very low number as well. So we had a couple of races where low numbers have resulted in low finishes. Of course, this one doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of a on-track practice racing against other drivers. should have a close to full complement of drivers for the race proper next week, starting at the Circuit of the Americas, the circuit where I got my first podium, no less. Quite how I did. I had an absolutely shocking early part of the race, and as soon as I got on the soft tyres at the end, so then the race really came back to me. I was chasing the junky sport for all of that final sector, and I was just taking time and time out of him, closing. Then I got to a point where my tyres just fell off a cliff, and I just couldn't close up anymore. And then the guy leading the race crashed out on the penultimate corner.
Not what you want.
And I inherited. I was quite happy with that because I inherited third place.
What's your highest finish you've had then?
Second. I got second at Red Bull Ring in the season where it was Div 1 and Div 2 in the same race. So it was a reverse grid race.
Oh, okay.
And it was wet as well.
2019 game.
Yes. I think it's probably the last season on 2019, I think.
No, more than likely was in that then. Probably in the wall, but I was in it.
I think what did we do? Was it I think it was Japan and Austria, I have a feeling. I very good remember having a shocking race at Japan.
I haven't raced there too often, so I don't. I must have missed that one. I joined late in the
You
season.
did, yes. Maybe it was a little bit later on that season.
2019.
Yeah, maybe it was that season. So then Pagani then closing down on T. Smith. That gap now just 4.1 seconds. The gap for the lead 4.8. So Pagani is now 8 seconds off the lead. There is 9 laps to go. So Catamese is looking good here to hold on. They're on the track, but T. Smith is in prime position to win this one.
He just has to keep himself away from one penalty. He does. He's on his last warning.
Well, even there, I say, if he gets one penalty, then he's kind of on the cusp at the moment. No.
Oh,
Goes to the commentator.
No.
Goes to the commentator.
Definitely
Strikes.
jinxed that one.
So going through the S's.
Sorry,
that's
Tom.
the first penalty. Right. So now he needs Catamese to get another one. Or he needs to stay within 6 seconds. He's 4.2 at the minute. He's got Pagani hunting him down. Gap now just 3.3. Yeah, so I'm saying I don't know how people switch between games and be competitive. I struggle with one at a time. I'm assuming you mean like ACC, F1, GT Sport, whereas I'm like mediocre at all three. Now, rather than focusing on GT or ACC, but obviously no F1 for me this season. So it gives me a bit more time to practice on my wheel and hopefully be back in for next season. We shall see then. So there is T. Smith, there is Pagani. Gap now just 2.7. And T. Smith is holding the gap to Catamese as the battle for P4 changes hands again. Unsafe down the inside into 1. So these two just running in each other's DRS. Stop within a lap of each other, so the tyre condition is about the same. On lap 29 of 36 into turn 4. Unsafe then holding off Fever. Swoop round the double right-hander, 6 and 7, front of the grandstand, and into the S's we go. It's a particularly tricky. You need to be quick. You need to use the curves really around here, don't you? But as we've seen, a little bit too much curb results in quite a number of penalties. Everybody now has at least one. Into the stadium section we go. Of course, before Mexico, well, when Mexico was originally on the F1 circuit, the track used to go around the outside of the stadium in a big sort of long hairpin, and then would rejoin here where they are now. Of course, made famous by one Nigel Mansell slinging it around the outside of I believe Gerhard Berger.
You're showing your age here now, Lee.
I only say that because there was they posted a video this week of it was Mansell's birthday this week, and they showed like Mansell's 10 best bits.
Ah, okay. I'll let you off.
So there. But I think I probably was alive for that because it was in a Ferrari, so it would have been like 89 or 90. But
yeah,
I didn't actually start getting into F1 until 1991, so...
Oh, okay.
My first race, of course, was that infamous debut race at Barcelona. Mansell Senna side by side. The vortices and the sparks flying behind them as they battled side by side down the start-finish straight. So that was my first ever F1 memory.
Nice. Tom has just let Pagani through from fighting.
That might be clever. if he can tag on to Pagani, Pagani might pull him back to within the ties of Academies. Academies now is ahead of T. Smith on net time. So T. Smith, oh, he's got the DRS. Needs to do is trying to hang on to the back of Pagani, and then runs lap 31 of 36. In the background, here goes the battle for P4 parts. What are we on now? 643. There's Fever down the outside with the DRS, blast past, and back up to P4. So these two just changing places on the start finish straight. Fever then will take over. He'll have the DRS again on the exit. They're getting a little bit squirrely on the curbs. Unsafe on the button. He's down to just 4% of battery left, so Unsafe really burning his battery. Fever on 58%. Fever in a strong position battery wise. Pagani has dropped T. Smith quite quickly, so T. Smith not being able to stay with him. He's out of DRS range. So I think he's going to need a Academy's mistake now, otherwise Academy's might end up winning this one. Oh no, Fever's gone. And the SS claims, oh, safety car. That is music to T. Smith's ears. That has suddenly put T. Smith right back.
Is anyone pitting?
T. Smith is in. That could be smart. Go on to soft tyres.
Pagani's staying out.
Well, I think he's gone past the pit lane.
Did they just miss it? Did they both miss it? Yeah, so
Unsafe's in as well.
What they do.
Of course, they'll probably get the opportunity to pit if they wish. But I imagine they'll probably pit in this time around.
Both on fresh softs.
Yep.
Just what have the two? What have Pagani and Academy's got?
They're still on. Academy's have gone past the pit lane when the safety car was called, so he got ahead of the safety car.
Sorry.
So in that respect, he had to go round, but obviously, if he chooses to pit,
he has to.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer, really. But he'll have to do something quite spectacular to try and win this one. So we're under lap 32. There will be just 4 laps to go. And he's got to build a 6-second buffer over T. Smith, who is on fresh soft tyres. Does he pit in? I think it's a bit of a no-brainer here, really. Yep, in he comes. So he's coming in for fresh tyres. Pagani, you imagine, would follow suit. And he does.
Yeah. Tyres.
In on to fresh softs. Pagani in, fresh softs.
All fresh softs.
All on fresh soft tyres. So we've got 4 cars on a 4-lap shootout. But T. Smith, as long as he can keep it pointing forwards and stay with the pack, you think here he's now going to win this one. So Fever claimed by the S section again after that great battle with Unsafe, but now we'll have 4 cars duking it out to win on track, even though T. Smith is pretty much guaranteed to win. Safety car will pick up the race leader. And having been behind the last 2 safety car restarts, Academys will this time lead them away. So now it's Pagani and T. Smith's turn to attack him.
I think it's very safe to say this has been an eventful social race.
I mean, we saw some of the guys last night, of course, from Div 1 get full foul of this track. Scuba, one that went off here in the S's section, so even the guys in Div 1 are not immune to falling foul of this track. Like you said earlier, you definitely feel when the tyres start to let go.
Yeah.
You just have to take a little bit of edge off. We've seen a few drivers sliding around. T. Smith has been sliding around a lot. Cats was sliding around a lot in qualifying. These cars definitely suffering from that reduced downforce on the floor this season. Safety car in this lap. So we are
there we go.
Ready to go racing. We'll have a 3-lap sprint. Who can win it on track? T. Smith pretty much certain to win this one on penalties. So Academy's then taking that wide line. And now goes. Oh, he's gone early, and he's gone quickly, and he's definitely caught Pagani a little bit there. Got himself a nice tidy 0.8 of a second gap there. Pagani burning the ERS, trying to give chase. Unsafe, looking to make a move on T. Smith. Smith covers the inside. Oh, Pagani gets another penalty.
So did Unsafe.
No, Unsafe as well.
Both had 15s.
The circuit is absolute murder for track limits. Racking up the penalties. I think I got something similar to the last race last season. Oh, Pagani wide there on the exit of 5. He's got all the run off as he tries to close back in on Academies. He wants to win it on the road, even if he's not going to win it on time. There's a lot said to being just clean and smooth. You don't have to be the quickest driver. The flag you make up a number, especially with the late safety cars. I mean, Graham in Div 1 is an absolute specialist of like picking up like 6 or 7 places at a flag because he's got no penalties.
Yeah, he was near last night, wasn't he? And then up to, what was it, 5th or 6th?
Yeah, he got 4th in the end, I think. Yeah, so he got right up the end, right at the sharp end at the end of it. Here we go then, penultimate lap. Academy's fastest lap. Pagani quickly takes it away. 15.6. No DRS this time. It will be activated on the final lap. These two have broken away from T. Smith. In turn has got himself a nice lead over on safe, so he's not under threat into turn 1. So it's a battle then for Pagani with another penalty.
He's not bothered at this point.
No, I think he just wants to win it on track, I think. Yep, it's all about getting past, so he's just going to get himself in a position. If he can stay with Cat through the lap, he'll have DRS down to turn 1. So I don't think he'll make a move through the final part of that. Will Catamese just let him go? Play a bit of tactical mind games. Let Pagani through, get himself DRS down the start finish straight. On the run down to turn 4 then as well. Of course, that's the detection point for the third one. Which starts here. He's closing. Is he going to make him? No, he's going to sit in behind. You can see they didn't want to make a move. He could have kept it closed up, but I think he just sat in behind Academies. Over the line they go. So Pagani will get the DRS, but he won't get it until turn 3. However, so where's the detection line for turn 3? Here's my next question. Or does he just get it anyway? Now. He's up the inside. Sends it inside. Yeah. That's the move done. Now, does he get DRS is the question. The answer is no, he does not. That was probably a good move. He's got an extra no battery though. Both of them are burning the DRS. Catamese has got a little bit left, trying to switch his sides.
Oh, switch. He switched.
The inside, Pagani hangs on around the outside. Catamese's trying to switch back up the inside. Across the nose goes Pagani. He's around the outside. Great wheel-to-wheel duel. Into the S as we go. Can everybody navigate this safely for the final lap? He's still going to be pushing. He's attacking the curbs. He's close. He's got DRS. He's going to go to the inside. Pagani covers him off. Oh,
double switch. Big
switch up the inside. He takes the position.
Lovely.
Pagani sends it to the left.
He's up the inside.
He's both going to go wide. Cat's off the track. Academies. Oh, spin into the wall! Oh no, it ends in the wall. Pagani gets on track. Pagani would, T. Smith would jump him. Unsafe, comes home third. Academies with no front wing. Comes home P4. What a duel on the final lap. And it was all for pride. And
good little battle.
Good battle there. Full send from both of them. Unsafe gets the driver of the day. Started 9th, finishes 3rd. Well, that is pretty much everything I'd expect of a Div 2 race for this season. Chaos, calamities, sends, spins, safety cars. It has everything a Div 2 race should have, and it's going to be nice to not be causing half of it this time.
Yeah.
So T. Smith,
you get to call it instead.
I get to call it instead, just for the season. There we go then.
Just keep the curse of the commentator away from me, please.
I'll try my hardest, but I make no promises. So
Well,
11
I
start,
can take great pride knowing that I was the only driver out there to get no penalties tonight.
Well done, Matt. That is some clean driving there. Well done. That is some supremely clean driving. T. Smith wins with just the one penalty to his name. Pagani with the fastest lap takes P2. Unsafe P3. Katowice after that fantastic duel with Pagani on the final lap. Comes home P4. Everybody else unfortunately retiring. Fever in the wall. Oscar Span in the SS section as well. Smacky Syme called it quits in the pits. Aaron loves it in the S section. Cats and Chubbs span in tandem in this section, and my fellow co-commentator decided turn 3 was far enough.
I enjoyed that.
It was, as ever, a great watch then. So that is it then. All the pre-season work is done. Next time we do it for proper. It is the start of season 17. We are at Circuit of the Americas. USA kicks off season 17. We'll be rounding off in China. 12 races, 12 weeks of racing action ahead of us. But that's not all for FTRL this week. We have got one more night of racing action this week. GT Sport is back tomorrow, GT14, from Autopolis Short. 3 races, 20 minutes. Lots of close racing to come, so do join us for that. But thank you for joining me after your brief outing on the track, Matt.
No, thank you for having us.
Better luck next week.
Absolutely. Can't really get much worse.
This is true. Circuit America. I mean, you could probably go up at turn 1 next week. But, we'll try not. I'll try not to give you the curse of the commentator a week out. If
don't
you go
do
off,
this to me. No.
It's not my fault. It's too early. I can't give it a week in advance. I'm sure it doesn't work like that. I've got to be watching you at the time.
I think a bit more practice is required.
Perhaps a little bit, yes. So I will let you get off to that. But thank you for jumping in tonight. So that's the end of the coverage for tonight. Chaotic as always. Div 2 is back in exactly Div 2 fashion. Thank you for joining us. That's all of the coverage done for this evening. And we will see you again tomorrow for GT Sports.